Now boarding for Rebuild of Joycast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
I am tired of talking about video games. I want to go back to talking about manga.
But Ivan, I'm good. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy this week, and we said we'd talk
what?
about
Actually, yeah, screw that. Tell me how Hogwarts Legacy was.
Okay. So, no joke, to be absolutely honest, the game is just fine. I have no major complaints.
It better be fine.
It is actually fine. I was surprised myself. The game is actually fine. I have not once come across a glitch in the game or anything. It's not like Cyberpunk. Nothing's like completely broken or unplayable or anything like that.
It better not be. I mean, especially better not be like Cyberpunk.
Surprisingly,
that should never happen.
People were shitting on the combat. The combat is actually surprisingly really fucking fun. I'm not gonna lie. When you actually like get a bunch of different spells and everything after like the first, couple hours of the game or something, because you can get like a decent amount pretty quickly. I was genuinely surprised how like into like jumping into an encampment I was and just like whipping out spells and shit. Exploring Hogwarts is cool. Riding on a broom wherever the hell you want, unless it's like a town or something, is really badass. Like you'll be walking through the Forbidden Forest or whatever they called it, and like you can just be like, oh, dark wizards, oh no, and hop on your broom and like fly all the way back to Hogwarts or something like that. Stuff like that is really fun. They absolutely just kicked ass on the world, like walking around Hogwarts and all that. Hogsmeade, all the town stuff is cool. There are a lot more enemies. It is mostly dark wizards, but it's kind of cool because you'll get people who obviously like they turn into animals. They do all kinds of different spells and whatnot. There's a lot of different animals running around that you can like hunt for and like get stuff off. But things that I don't like though. So thus far the game is perfectly fine. Nothing like really bad or anything.
Hell yeah,
I had
bad
an issue.
Things. Let's go.
I had an issue where for some reason my save file just disappeared. Like I turned it on after I like took a break after a bit, and it started me off right at the beginning. I saw some ways on how I could potentially find my save file or get it back, and I tried to follow them, but I just like I was absolutely fucking shattered. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'll start again. I'll do it. It is really annoying because it's got the usual like, introduction stages like you played Phantom Pain, didn't you? Metal Gear?
Yes.
Yeah, that game is fucking cool. But the introduction segment to that game is the most painful thing I have ever gone through on like replaying a game ever. I do not want to replay Metal Gear Solid 5 purely because of the introduction scene and how much of a slog that is. Stuff like that is annoying. And the only other thing that I don't see anyone say, like I literally saw someone say the other day, oh, I really feel like a student at Hogwarts. No, I fucking don't. What I wanted out of this game was
You want to do actual homework. You want to have a thesis due.
No, more like
exams.
I wanted...
You want to be inconvenienced.
I did want to be inconvenienced, you're absolutely right. I wanted the inconvenience of being a child or being like, the charge of these teachers. Like, because you've got characters like Professor Fig.
You sound like the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon haters. if they're not bitching about the
I will
fucking
say this
frame
one:
rate.
I would rather buy 5 more copies of Harry Potter than support Pokemon. That's
Fair
me
enough.
though. Like there's this guy called Professor Fig and everything. So naturally you think to yourself, I'm a student at the school. Granted, it's all like, oh, you're 5 years late, you're a 5th year student right off the bat. You're basically the fucking Mary Sue, Ivan. It's like, oh, you have access to a special kind of magic, ancient magic, and it lets you do this and that. And it basically makes up for the fact that you're 5 years behind on schoolwork, essentially. And everyone, it kind of fucking sucks. Like, the teachers are all like, oh, you can just come talk to us when we have spells to teach you, and then we'll, like, send you on a job, and then we'll teach you the spell. And I'm like, you guys should be pissed off that this, like, kid has just come into school, and it's like, the headmaster, like, oh, you have to teach him things to make up for his, like,
That's
him being
not a power
late and
fantasy,
stuff.
though, Val.
I don't want a power fantasy. I want to be restricted. I want to be in this school. I want to be walking around at night and have to make myself invisible because the prefects are walking around,
Legit.
or the teachers are about, and shit like that. But they don't. I'm just free to wander around. I am literally going into situations where I'm fighting dark wizards, and my teacher, my main teacher, my Dumbledore, my whatever, Professor Fig, isn't like, leave it to me, I'll fucking take care of this stuff. You just concentrate on staying safe and going to classes. He's like, oh, really? You killed a guy? That's fucking sweet, dude. Let's go, like, raid this fucking bunker and fight some goblins side by side. I'm like, motherfucker, you are the... It's just...
Such is the clash of rationality and video game structure and story. Like,
Yeah.
you can't have it all.
It's like, I am not a Harry Potter fan, as I have said. I am not like, I'm just closing my door. I am not like super into the books or the films or anything like that. I have seen 1 through 4, and then 7, because I watched the Deathly Hallows Part 2 back in 2011 when it came out, like at the premiere in my town and stuff like that, just because my friend asked me to. But I see the shit Harry gets up to in that film, and it's genuinely fun. The unraveling of a mystery and stuff like that as he gets closer and closer to danger in those films and stuff. I want something like that, but when it's like right off the bat, I am like delving into a hidden crypt or something underneath Hogwarts, guarded by like, these big stone knight dudes and everything, right off the bat, I'm kind of like, this isn't exactly the experience that I really, really wanted out of this game, But overall, it is a competently made RPG, and it does, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? It combines the world building of Harry Potter and stuff like that, and J.K. Rowling's work, well into the video game stuff. It's cool walking around, exploring, and, like, seeing all that shit. Going to classes and stuff in the game is really lame because it's just press this button. It's not even a quick time event or anything. It's not a challenge. But general combat, exploration, stuff like that is actually really fucking badass. So the game is not a disaster like I know many people wanted it to be. Honestly, it's fine.
Yeah, Val, you probably just, like, offer, like, the most, like, honest and unique review, like, on the entire internet of this goddamn game.
Well, see,
so thanks for that.
That is something that actually really pissed me.
You actually treat me when you're just like, well, I'm used to, like, to you, the true Harry Potter experience is going around the school structure, like, hiding from the teachers,
yes, exactly.
Uncovering things, and this is just like, oh, yeah, like, you've never been more of a chosen one than right now.
Stuff like that in very specific missions where it's like, but when it's just like,
I
don't
don't doubt there's
on.
some kind of form of sneaking.
Yeah, there
mission.
is. There absolutely is.
But the fact that it isn't like the overall structure of the game, like the overall structure of a Harry Potter plot is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that there is a lack of authenticity there. So, like, that's a very fascinating point.
Like, I get a little bit of... Because, like, in the game... actually, something that is quite cool in the game, I do want to point out. All loot in the game is randomized. So, if, say, you and me were playing it, like me, Freddy, and my friend, and Jax are, we're just, like, going around, like, telling each other, like, oh, yeah, there's the secret here and everything like that. Because the puzzles are all the same. But then the loot that you get within chests all around, like the school, the world, and everything like that, is completely randomized. So it's kind of cool when we like look at each other's characters like right off the bat, and it's like, oh, we're dressed completely different. Like, and it's also cool that when you get equipment as you go, it saves the general appearance of that equipment, and you can change your appearance while wearing whatever equipment you want. So you can wear the absolute best stuff you've got and change the appearance to any equipment that you previously owned that has a physical difference in appearance to it. So when I'm outside of the school, I put on like a butterfly mask with like a fucking top hat and this long blue trench coat and everything, and I'm basically Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon. And then when I go back to the school, I'm just like, it's not something that I have to do, but because I wanted like some kind of authenticity to it, I'm like, oh, I'm back in the school, time to change into like a school uniform type thing.
You have 30 more seconds. I'm not giving this game any more than 10 more minutes of my time.
If you don't care.
I never want to hear about Hogwarts Legacy ever again.
People are going to be talking about it forever at this rate.
No, they're not. It's not topical.
It's actually, dude, it's like sold so fucking well.
Well, that's
it's
no doubt the
crazy.
Harry Potter game.
Oh, yeah, no,
right?
exactly. It's just
That's the
insane
reason why
how
they
it's
made it
sold.
in the first place.
Precisely. So it is a good game. I'm actually having like a surprising amount of fun with it. I think I've put like 20 or so hours into it so far in the week. But you got to bear in mind that I had to like catch up with my second character when the game unceremoniously deleted my previous one. I'm in Hufflepuff. I've got a dragon heartstring wand, and that's about it. I haven't gotten a Patronus yet.
But yeah, thank you for the honest review. If anyone wants to know our feelings on the discourse around this game, refer back to the last week's episode 48. Because we're not here to have that conversation all over again.
There's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes maybe of Ivan and Steena fanning each other's flames of hatred.
Absolutely.
God, you're good together.
Nah, my view was a little bit more towards like people playing the game more than the game itself.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I conceded that, but again, they can listen to that.
It is pretty fucking ridiculous that there is like literally an app online made to like track people streaming the game.
I am genuinely surprised this has only become to light now. I thought this was a thing we always knew about. You'd be surprised how much crap gets tracked in the most weird.
I know.
ways.
It's just like it's just kind of shitty that it's like tracking people.
Again, I'm like, goddamn,
them.
relax.
Yeah,
relax.
It's just ridiculous.
But
we're on the manga. It's been 2 weeks of video game and other bullshit.
I think it's been more than that, honestly. Like
Maybe.
we've been loose on the manga since the Christmas freaking podcast. So let's dive right in. Let's start with our triumvirate. Let's go My Hero first because it's been off for like 2 weeks and Hori's back and our man is firing on all cylinders once again, like he never left.
Yeah, honestly, this chapter kind of surprised me because I've been sat here for a bit like, what the hell else is left in My Hero Academia? And then right at the very end, spoilers, I know we're getting into it a bit earlier, but Shiketsu, I was like, damn, I thought you guys were just completely irrelevant at this point and weren't going to turn up. Like, how did you feel about that?
Shinketsu, I'm like, about damn time. We back when we showed that they were referred to defending UA, like the tunnels, we said they need to show up again in the finale. Like, if that's the last time we see them, that's kind of lame, considering the impact they made during an arc. Because this finale has been very good with bringing people back.
It has been.
So Shinketsu to the rescue, I am cool with that. Especially the moment that the fake out that preludes their arrival, fantastic.
I literally forgot
the
what her
Shoujo
quirk
Hawks
was.
and that Tokoyami reaction face,
Oh, yeah, that was
legendary.
great. No, that was
Legendary.
Like, what is her power then? Because like we've never actually gotten a good look at it.
We've known it's illusion. She just makes illusions.
Oh, okay. It's just been so long.
We've known this since the supplementary training arc.
I can't remember.
The manga does a very bad explaining. The manga does a
remember
very
her-
bad explaining.
I
The
remember
anime does
her
better.
from the supplementary training arc. Because like we haven't seen her for a while, and I don't think we ever got like an actual look at her power. Essentially, I basically forgot. But
It's
I do
never
remember.
focused. It's one of those show don't tell situations where you might need to tell a little bit because like the limits of her power isn't really explored. But then again, she's just a side character, so like who really cares? But it's principally illusion.
Okay, and that's why it works for obviously her Toga when she took her appearance.
So that's how they snuck it in because they're like, oh, she alluded to be another person, and then they realize, oh no, this is when they find Candy stashed in the closet. They go, uh-oh, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's it. I really like the bit with Gentle Criminal. He's like holding off the UA falling. You've got this really nice shot of him where he's like just completely alone and stuff, and he's like thinking on the fact that there's no cameras, no one to like you know, root for him or anything, and he's fine with that. But then La Brava comes in. It's like, I can't allow like Gentle's greatness to not be viewed by
Okay, so remember the cameras, and you're like, hey, who's holding the camera? What's going on? So that's what was happening, is they're filming Gentle, and I swear to God, if this is all over and Deku gets completely like overtaken by like they were only filming Gentle and Gentle becomes the big fucking like hero at the end of the day, that would be chef's kiss. That would be chef's kiss. If that doesn't happen in the original, I swear to God, I'm going to find a way to make that happen in the abridged parody.
It was like, no,
they completely ignored everyone else, and quote-unquote gentle criminal becomes the #1 hero.
You'd love any, like, future where Deku is not, like, acknowledged for his struggles.
I love that. Like, oh my God, like, this is another great gentle chapter. If gentle is this prominent in a chapter, it's automatically a banger. Like, this is generally a great chapter, though I've heard the discourse has been very controversial.
Oh, God, what discourse?
I heard it's either love or absolute hatred for this chapter.
Really?
And why? Because Deku's in, like, one panel.
What? I don't understand. Why did people...
People didn't like the Hawks fake out for some reason.
Well, I mean, I kind of like the idea of, like, more death in this series, but, you know, that's just me, but... It's literally just the Deku stand mindset. It's not that specifically, but it's that mindset where it's like, no, this has to be serious right now. Like, a lot of people did not actually appreciate the Tokiyama face. The
they didn't like that.
I can kind of understand the disappointment of it not being a Deku-focused chapter, because, let's be honest, it's been pretty scarce with him. Let's be honest.
It has not. We've been
No. It has been pretty scarce with him for a while. He only really came back in about 4 or 5 chapters ago. And he's not exactly had, like, it might be more, actually, at this point.
You say that like Top Gear didn't just happen. Stop it.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm referring to.
Stop it. Like, Deku has been perfectly fine. We're trying to give everyone, like, their last fucking appearance right now.
Oh, yeah,
we still got people still need to get their time in the spotlight, and we're getting down the wire. We're, like I said, we both kind of forgot about Shinketsu. We kind of did.
We did. I mean,
so if they're gonna show Shinketsu, there's still hope for the corn maze.
Oh God, yeah.
I just don't know. That seems so out of the way.
It does. Like, okay, so it looks as though Deku came in,
and we still need Ochako. She's definitely in this location. This location they're at right now. Ochako's there. We're all trying to bring everyone into the one spot. And as All For One's showing, All For One's trying to get to he's trying to do his final merger with Shigaraki. Mm-hmm. So like all these plot lines and all these battles they're clearly going to converge on one location. That seems to be the end goal, and that's good. That's good momentum, that's good motion. Agreed. So we're getting there. It's just we got a few more people gotta get their final due. Like, this is definitely the last we'll see of Cammy right here. That last little splash page of hers, that's it.
Cammy. Oh, yeah, that's her name, isn't it? What's with the giant finger, by the way? Is that the guy that, like, controls globs of flesh or turns you into, like, flesh mounds?
Yes, so that's Meatwad Man. I don't know his name, and he's such a, like, I shouldn't say this because a lot of people in the manga there is a very small hardcore audience that love this character in the manga.
What?
I only remember him because of the anime, because of the parody. Because we really made him a character. Our parody, just because we really fucking put him out there. Because he was such a nothing. But the anime gave him some spotlight. I'm like, oh, we have some footage to work with here. We'll give this guy some spotlight if the anime's interested.
It's like he has a cool power.
He's a poor man's Monoma. Like, if Monoma exists, this guy shouldn't. Because it's just the same character again.
Shishikura.
Yeah, Sheiji is the name I remember.
Yeah, Seiji Shishikura.
He's a poor man's Monoma.
I can kind of see it. I like his outfit, actually. He's got a weird thing going on with, like, these gloves that he's got.
But yeah, like, he could just make people and himself just wads of meat. And she's riding a giant finger. It's weird, but
I find Shiketsu's school thing weird, actually. Because they all have, like, facets of their uniforms and shit, like the hats.
Well, yeah, Shinketsu has a very specific uniform.
I think that's kind of cool, though.
Yes, all the schools have different uniforms. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how UA obviously goes for, like, oh, we're gonna custom make you your own outfit, and there's not gonna, and besides, like, a single emblem, maybe, because there's that thing where it's like,
oh, so you're talking about, so those are specific hero costumes.
Yeah, but don't they have,
where Shinketsu seems to be a little more strict, like, yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, which
also,
I like.
think it's because I think that also has to do with the fact that it'd be a little bit more difficult to recognize them.
True.
Especially someone like Seiji. Kami is a little bit middling. Inasa, you could put Inasa on anything, you'd recognize him. Like, his Shinketsu uniform is practically his hero costume.
Essentially, yeah.
Like, he's got a fucking cape, he's got all these fucking tubes and shit.
He's got those cool fucking,
he is
protectors.
He is a true, no-budget attached Horikoshi costume. Horikoshi loves the military and the extra tubes and tactical gear. But that's why you don't see a lot of him, because he's a very complicated costume. That's a bitch to draw on a weekly basis.
Who do you think
But you ever see those extra splash pages, like with Ochako and Deku, where they have extra goggles and stuff? Horikoshi loves that.
Who do you think is going to get the final hit on All for One? Because I think All Might's going to come out of the shadows with just a gun.
In a mech, in the Dark Knight Returns fucking mech. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling it too at this point.
Yeah, no, I know.
What's in that briefcase? What's in that briefcase?
I feel like I've said it before, but you know, I'm pretty sure All Might is just gonna. Wait, no, All Might. All for One is just gonna like Benjamin Button it towards the end.
He better. I think that'd be sick.
He's literally going to. He's gonna be like a little.
For such dynamic imagery.
He's gonna be a little sperm cell with like his iconic grin and everything. And like, I'll never die, All Might.
Oh my god, that would be fucking hilarious if it was a sperm with that fucking smirk. Oh my god.
But this was a pretty cool chapter. But I kind of understand. Awesome. I kind of understand not focusing on Deku a bit, because it is like really ramping up towards their fight. I don't think there's any need for like any kind of there is.
The readers need to chill the fuck out. This shit's going to be done sooner than you think.
Yeah, it is going to be.
Enjoy it.
And honestly, it's gonna be sick.
We're now in our vigilante. You know how vigilantes had the fight that went on for like 2 years.
It's not gonna be like that.
No, it's not. It's not gonna be like that. I'm saying, cherish these moments, because you're gonna miss it when it's fucking gone.
That was insane. Where every week we were just sat there like,
it was bad.
It's gonna be the end. It's gonna be the end next week, Ivan. I'm certain.
Fucking Ben Court continues to draw fucking Koichi drawings and pretend like he has something in the fucking works. I'm getting so angry. I'm so mad. He's pretending like there's like a spin-off about to happen, and I'm getting angry. Just do it, you fucking cowards. Come on.
It's kind of fun. Like,
on the main magazine, what else are they gonna show? Actually, we'll get to that topic, because there's actually Jump's actually got plenty going on right now.
It's pretty crazy to me that like the last year or so we were basically hating on the mainline series of My Hero Academia, but it's genuinely been good.
Because it was rough. It was rough. The mainline was really rough for a while.
Yeah. It wasn't it wasn't fitting well into like, you know, its shoes, I guess, for a while, like building up to this ending. And I get it. It's like quite hard when it's like establishing, yeah, everything's gonna end now. But the fact that he's like is taking this time to obviously try and
that Mutant Rebellion mini arc changed everything.
It was cool. No, Mutant Rebellion
fucking
was super
changed
cool.
everything.
Yeah. Do you think like we're gonna see Spinner again? Do you think Spinner has like another place in this, or do you think he is just done? 'Cause I'm feeling like a lot of the villains are just done at this stage.
I think Spinner's done.
Yeah.
Will we see him again in Cuffs? Probably. But if we're talking about like, story-nice narrative play, I think that's enough. I think no, actually, you know what? No, he'll be back. He's got to save Shigaraki.
I'm telling you, I don't think he. I really think it's best if he is done.
If he doesn't save Shigaraki, it'll be disappointing. But we can't say he didn't get something in the end. Like that was incredible. Like, look who's following me. That wasn't what we were expecting, and in that way, that was incredible.
It was really good.
It was a very good. I mean, like I said, if he doesn't save Shigaraki, disappointing. But let's not pretend like he wasn't the star. If it wasn't Shoji, it was Spinner. He was the star of that mini arc, and that was an incredible mini arc.
Oh, and we didn't really say it, but not Night Eye, fucking Eraserhead got like pulled into a portal by
yeah. Well, I assume they're taking everyone to that battlefield.
Shirakumo.
Yeah, Shirakumo, Black Mist. He got him and President Mike both got put into a portal. We don't see where they go.
Do you think?
But they're definitely going to the main battlefield. Like, again, everyone is going to the big finale battlefield.
I wouldn't mind if Eraserhead and President Mike were the ones who like probably took down All for One.
No fucking way. But yeah, it would be cool. But
I
no.
think that'd be cool because like it's like
They're gonna have their moment with Shirakumo.
It's sort of like Full Metal Alchemist where at the end, because I'm rewatching Brotherhood right now, and
I think they're gonna kill him.
Oh yeah, they're gonna kill All for One. I think.
No. I'm talking about Shirakumo.
Oh, Shirakumo. Oh yeah. I would genuinely.
I think Aizawa and President Mike are gonna have to put him out of his misery.
I think so. No,
I don't see what else they could be doing at this point.
I prefer that idea because, as you know,
because that's the end of their arc.
When they revealed that Shirakumo is actually like their friend, I was like, if he fucking like overcomes this like, you know, decades long brainwashing thing through the power of friendship, yeah, it was cool in like Captain America, the Winter Soldier and shit like that, but I kind of want there to be more stake here. Because
I still cannot believe they did not adapt that arc from Vigilantes. The young Aizawa. Are they gonna run out of things to do by the end of the season? Are they gonna have to do this like retroactively in the most inappropriate place?
Interesting thought.
If they have to fill up their fucking quota for OVAs,
just do
again, I think they're running out of material, and I feel like they're to come to us because we really laud that arc, and we give Vigilantes a lot of credit, maybe too much credit, considering I think Horikoshi had more of a role in Vigilante's success than we give him credit for. I think Horikoshi gave those guys. You can't just make up lore for someone else's world in a spin-off. You can't do that. Horikoshi had to have given them that permission, those notes. Not permission to fucking say what they want. He had to give them that dialogue, those notes, that mini arc for them to adapt.
Like O'Clock and stuff.
Because crediting is really weird in Japan. And I feel like Horikoshi wrote that arc, and then they just adapted it. And I wonder if that'll be enough for... I'm just like, I'm really concerned. I want to talk about the anime right now. I feel like we've said enough about the manga right now. I want to get back to the anime. And we talked about how Core 1 of Season 6 was not bad, but disappointing given the context of what was happening. It was kind of disappointing. It was very jobber. Mirko had the good animation as we expected. Everything else was just kind of mid. They're currently in, as they're calling it, we call it Vigilante Deku. They're calling it the Dark Hero arc, which is fine. But that being said, the arc, as it's currently airing, it just started a couple episodes in. It's actually pretty good. I'm remaining very optimistic about this arc. Because remember how we discussed the manga for this arc, that we felt it was rushed. It was good, but rushed. And you know Hori's habit of rushing and Bones' habit of dragging. Could we now be achieving the perfect balance for the anime, where dragging is actually going to be a benefit? Because right now, I feel like that's the benefit. They gave Muscular extra time in the anime, and it served it very well.
Oh, what happened?
They just gave him more time. He got to talk more. We got to stew in the manga. Yeah, again, that was rushed.
He's already fighting.
He smacks his ass. He smacks him on the ass, and he's gone. In the manga, in the anime, they have a standoff in the river. And if you've never read the manga, if you're completely fresh to this, that's kind of an intense moment. They kind of linger. They let you stew in that. They let you build up a little bit of anxiety to that face-off before he slaps him on the ass. I really like it. I think right now, Core 2 of Season 6 is going to be fucking phenomenal. If they give it its much due. If there isn't a movie secretly happening right now, and they can give it that budget and that extra directorial attention, we could be seeing like a Core 5... a Season 5 Core 1 situation where this gets fucking phenomenal. And I feel like it's going to happen. Like I think I've seen previews of Nagant scenes. I've seen some little teasers. It's looking good. I'm very excited. But I also want to get to the fact of, once this season is done, I mean, this is it. Like, we're in the final rundown. Is there going to be 7 or 8
They're going to pull an
seasons
Attack on Titan
total?
On us.
No, Bones would never do that.
Oh.
Bones is responsible. We've talked about this. when push comes to shove, Bones would rather drag the animation out than starve their fucking animators.
True.
We have to give them that credit. And so right now we're in a very weird place, and that's what I'm talking about is, do they still have more OVAs in their contract? How many more seasons are they contracted? How many more episodes are they contracted to do? And I'm wondering if they're going to have enough material. Are they going to drag out what's here? Or are they going to go for it and still have extra episodes left? And if they do that, are we going to start seeing that young Aizawa arc? Are we going to at least get a flashback? Are we going to get at least 10 minutes in an episode? If they want to drag, they have dragging material in that young Aizawa arc. They could do it.
I've been thinking about All for One a bit.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about, like, you know, the parallels you can make between, like, Harry Potter and My Hero Academia?
I mean, Val, you're just discussing, like, you just brought up power fantasy and Chosen One tropes.
True. I mean, it's
Star Wars, My Hero Academia, Harry Potter, they're all the same story
Val.
told over again.
What? No. It can't be. Yeah, no, you are right.
Structurally,
I'm
they're all
just
the
thinking
same.
about
That's
how,
why,
like,
that's why we keep coming back to him salivating. We love a familiar taste.
I put a lot of thought into the things that you say about, like, All for One, though, because, like, he is, like, a massive point of contention for you in the series at large. Obviously, you've been talking about it for, like, a year now. But it's just the fact that, like, wow, if they don't pick something up with, like, All for One soon, it really is just gonna be like, no, you're just a cartoonishly evil dickhead, and you're not a very interesting character at all, and it's kind of embarrassing that you're, like, running the fucking show, essentially.
Oh, so we got a comment on this, and I discussed in the comment, but I want to bring it up here that
the Jack Horner thing, right?
It would be fascinating if All for One had a pathos to that trulliness. Like, if he had this, like, need to be affirmed, like he had an insecurity where he needed to be the center of everyone's story.
He did say in this chapter...
this chapter, he talks about, like, he's on the edge of it. He's really on the edge of it. That's what frustrates me. It's like, if you can just sneak in a couple more lines, if you can show a little crack and a little insecurity in All for One, especially in his brother complex, you'd have it. You'd have it.
Man literally
this would make
came
more
out and went,
sense.
after all, this is my story.
It needs just a little bit, because the issue is that we are forced to take this seriously, and it doesn't work. If you made it more, just a tad bit more comical, it would work so fucking well. We're on the edge. It's just on the tip of Horikoshi's tongue.
That's how One Piece would do it. We're just on the tip of his pen. We're just there, but we're not quite there, making All for One's need to be in everyone's origin story interesting. I think that'd definitely be a way that, like, Oda would handle something like that.
Oh yeah, like I said, if this was One Piece, he'd have it down.
Yeah, he'd definitely be like, oh, I just want to be the ultimate villain and be involved in, like, everyone's story.
I said, I just want to be there because, like, me, like, I'm just, he'd have a Tokiyama face as well. If this was One Piece.
True.
But this is not One Piece, this is My Hero Academia, and we need to give it some fucking credit because there is some balls here.
Oh, yeah.
And more in the art direction.
Do you want to talk about Chainsaw Man?
I want to talk about Chainsaw Man. It's been a minute.
So
we finally get Nayuta. We finally get Denji's little shit-eating grin sister. The reincarnation of Makima. This is everything we wanted, right?
Absolutely.
Chainsaw
Thief,
Man,
fucking
119
thief,
and 120.
Thief. Fucking thief.
She's very well in control of her power, very well aware in control of her powers. She makes people do things. She basically turns...
treats Get Denji like shit.
Yes, but now this is why I like this is a little bit more interesting, because Nayuta is a little bit more humbled than Makima. Makima had governmental control and power. Here, there's a little bit of there's more there's less control and more negotiation now. Where she's like, I'll turn Asa back into a human, but I get to have ice cream every day. And Denji goes, only if I get it too. Like, they make deals now. It's not complete control. And Nayuta does have some kind of care for Denji.
Of course.
Denji is not expendable anymore. I like this dynamic. I really do.
She reminds me a bit of Power.
Yes, there's
It's
definitely
like,
something
it
here.
feels like there's a mixture of like elements from like people that Denji
Well, Power
knows.
is more of a trashy, greasy waifu. Nayuta's more of a fucking what would be the appropriate word?
It's stuff like, the laughing at like what she's done and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's a little shit. She's just a little shit. She's a brat. She's a brat.
I definitely enjoy the relationship dynamic between them, because this is literally all I have wanted to see for ages.
This is what everyone wanted to see.
It's one of those things where I am just like, so Denji has to keep this promise now, because Nayuta is like his priority, really. No matter what Nayuta comes first. It's a real question of like, how the fuck does this like go forward then? Because I was really enjoying the dynamic between Asa and Denji, and I'm like,
now it feels like it's been cut off.
It's been cut off, and I'm kind of disappointed at that if that is the case, because
I don't think it's the case. I think this just adds a layer of conflict for Denji. Again, we talk about how Denji has been pretty much fully actualized at this point, and he kind of lacks a new story. I feel like this gives him some story. The fact that, okay, now he kind of has this forbidden romance with Asa. Granted, there's this complication of now her memory's been wiped. Although we see that she is disappointed, she rationalizes to herself. I love these panels.
Femcel.
Where she just has to like explain how she fools herself into why she's not disappointed, even though she's clearly disappointed. I love that. I love this character. I'm loving part 2 so much. It's so more interpersonal. Again, this is not the action manga people were expecting. It's a lot more interpersonal, and for me, I eat that shit up.
Yeah, it's super cool. I fucking love it.
I really love this.
I want to see how this goes on, obviously. I'm just kind of like, is Denji now going to like back off away from her entirely, and she's going to carry on her thing?
It's just gonna make now Denji's interaction with Asa are now, they've got 2 wrinkles of complication. 1, Asa now believes that Denji stood her up, and 2, now Nayuta's hanging around the shadows, making sure Denji doesn't spend time with her. But clearly Denji's interested in her and likes her. So this is now Denji's story in Chainsaw Man Part 2.
Nayuta, what did you do? Turned her into a dog.
Because there's no way he can just go away. Chainsaw Man is the name of the series, and not in that he's the main character, but that he is the antagonist still. He is the end goal for Asa and Yoru. So, like, they obviously have to see him again. He's the target.
I still feel like that, in general, that whole thing is very much, like, up in the air, and the actual destination of what needs to happen is really fucking unknown. I'm pretty sure that whole thing about her going to kill Chainsaw Man is becoming less and less of like the point.
It's the end goal. Like this is what prevents. Look out for that iceberg.
I know, but
it's no iceberg. It's Denji, and there he is, and he keeps swiping around the camera like a fucking cryptid.
Like, we are 120 chapters into this series now. Like, how?
Let's go by parts. We're 20 chapters ish. Into this part.
No,
this is a whole new story. This is a whole new story, Val. Let's be honest.
It's about 25 chapters then, if that's...
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, when did
We're
part
still
2
pretty
start?
fresh into this.
Yeah.
If each story is like... If each story is on average going to be 90 chapters, we're just at a quarter-ish.
Yeah, like... I mean... Now,
let's say Act 1 has completed.
I'm trying to say...
How are we feeling about what's going ahead? Well, we still have a Chainsaw Man copycat and hanging around. There's still things to do.
Yeah, Chainsaw Man ended around like chapter 95, I think.
Yeah.
And then obviously came back with chapter 96. So we're like, yeah, we're 25 chapters or so.
And again, if 90 is the average, this could go longer.
97.
Could be shorter.
Chapter 97 was the ending of Chainsaw Man, so chapter 98. Yeah, we are about 22 chapters in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened, but it really does feel like maybe like after this point, I don't know. There's just so many variables around like right now. So we've got let's think about this for a moment. So we've got the government with the octopus guy watching over Denji.
Yeah, that's the cliffhanger this week.
Yeah, we got the Horsemen of the Apocalypse stuff going on with war and famine. Okay, and we don't even know what the hell famine really wants.
Well, here's the thing. You know what? We do have a guidebook. We do have a guidebook of what's to come. Remember, Val, he is intentionally repeating things. We've had a Bat Devil fight. We've had an Eternity Devil fight. So who's next? Katana Man's reincarnation? If he didn't die, did Katana Man die?
You know what? We literally do not know.
Katana Man will be back.
Katana Man is like
we will have a Katana Man arc.
It's kind of weird.
He's intentionally repeating things.
Is Quan Chi still alive? Like that is a really good question. Like I have seen on the wiki
is that Chainsaw Man copycat, is that just Katana Man? Ooh. Think about it.
That's not a bad thought.
But if not Katana Man, at least a Katana Man equivalent. Like again, we're echoing. We are repeating and echoing. Time is a flat circle. One Piece does this too. Why can't Chainsaw Man?
I'm not saying
it's a brilliant theory.
I just feel as though it's just a little bit.
If you're wondering where things going, we're gonna get a Katana Man. We're gonna get some kind of equivalent to Bomb Devil.
Oh, you think like Octopus guy is gonna be like her Bomb Devil?
Maybe. Who knows? Like I said, let's follow the order. Let's follow the structure.
True. Overall, though, this chapter left me more worrying because I was genuinely getting into Denji and her's relationship. I hope it's not the end for that or anything.
I don't think so. I think it's just additional complication because this is still a weekly or bi-weekly manga at the end of the day. We must continue the will they, won't they? Just be happy it's not Hajime no Ippo.
What's going on with that right now?
Wally's fight just ended. It was a pretty good fight. He fought Ricardo, and I'm probably the first person to make Ricardo sweat. So give Wally some credit.
Okay, so we lost to Ricardo.
We lost to Ricardo. He's down, but he went down a champ. That's it. We don't know what happens next. We'll find out next week.
Before talking about One Piece, honestly, I actually wouldn't mind leaving One Piece a week because I feel like not much actually happened this chapter.
Oh, you wanna save it for another week?
Honestly, I think One Piece could like be saved for another week. There wasn't really much in the terms of revelations. The only thing going on really is that the Seraphim are more than likely being controlled by a Gorosei, I think, the old man. I mean, they say that it might be Vegapunk. Basically, nothing happened in this chapter.
It's a setup.
Yeah, it's been a lot of setup. We could honestly invest a lot more time into this because we're currently hitting the we're on like the 42-minute mark. So honestly, let's talk about JoJoLands. No.
Here's the thing: we could actually get One Piece. We can have our kicking it too. We can get One Piece talked about. There's gonna be a team up with frickin' Lucci and Kaku. With Zoro and Luffy fighting the Seraphs.
It does not surprise me.
No, that's One Piece. That's One Piece.
Yeah.
No, it's not surprising at all. I think for me, it's just like I think one of Vegapunk's clones, I think is a narc. I think they're fucking around.
Yeah, no,
I think there's some sabotage going on here.
Like the evil one, the one that we initially met.
Yeah, it's that one or it's Shaka. It's one or the other.
Maybe there's apparently like some shadowy being inside the base that has blown up like Shaka's area, I think. They've done something like it's just like
you're pretty right. It's just set up, nothing's going on, but it's interesting that they're gonna team up, but not surprising.
No, literally not. I'm
surprised that I thought we were getting the hell out of here. Like I thought this was gonna be like a mini like filler arc.
Right?
But now they're dividing the crew. They're all gonna get their individual fights. Now they're gonna give this some more time. Clearly,
I mean, the instant that they said that Kizaru is showing up, and I mean, as you know, dude, the instant that they said like, "Oh, these gloves help me like grab and shape light and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, they're gonna use those on Kizaru. Somehow, some way, Kizaru's gonna like.
Well, Luffy's
come
just gonna
here.
hit him in fucking Gear 5 because again, they talk about how like light is an illusion and shit. Like it's gonna be a mindset kind of thing. I like it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
like that dumb. That so dumb it's brilliant logic.
I like that too.
So here's what I want to bring up quickly before next. I told you guys that I would never bring up Fabricant 100 unless it did something incredible.
Yeah.
So Fabricant 100, I think it's in 9 or 10 chapters now. Can't believe it's only been that short. This guy continues to get more comfortable with each chapter. This continues to get better with each chapter. And this previous week, he heard the Zatchbell allegations and quashed those very quickly. So we are now I've had this discussion before about innovation in a shonen. Like what kind of manga gets my time? The ones that innovate. And now we have a hard confirmation of innovation in this series. And it is an innovation upon the Mon fighter. I'm not saying he's the very first to do this, but this is a Mon fighter where you really can't trust your Mon. Your Mon can turn on you at any fucking point. And but the next innovation, like that's a loose innovation. The innovation that I like has to do with a trope in manga that makes me very uncomfortable, and we've had this discussion a lot. One of the earliest episodes of this podcast, we talked about Japan's flirtation with eugenics, where we have a character here. Our protagonist is like delicious boy meat. Like he has perfect blood and perfect body parts, and all the Fabricants want to kill this kid. And so, like, we have this fight where it's his Fabricant versus someone else's Fabricant, and this is going. And again, it feels like Zatchbell. Like we have a sob story. We have this a brilliant origin story with the enemy, where they have this awesome connection, and you and the audience, you're strung along. You're along for the ride. If you've read Zatchbell, you feel like this is adaptational. You have this preconception of, oh, you can get attached to a Fabricant. A Fabricant does have a heart, and you can have goals together, and you can coexist, and then suddenly the little boy gets cut, and the other Fabricant goes, smells it, goes, ooh, that's delicious boy meat. Fucking kills their partner. I'm done. I want to kill this kid. I'm like, oh, innovation. Here we go. This is what I want.
Wait,
oh my gosh. Fabricant 100, it's
the user
not
of the enemy Fabricant.
Yes.
is actually attached to.
No, okay. I don't want to show somebody. Guys, you should be reading Fabricant 100. So the situation is that they get a contact. They you know how in every shonen there's an organization, the Demon Slayers, the Hero Academia,
Of course.
the Devil Hunters. So they have a version of Fabricant Hunters. They have joined this. They've been given an assignment. At this opera, there's a singer, and when she sings, someone very special to the audience, someone who has good body parts, dies. Mysteriously dies. But they know, as Fabricant Hunters, that means there is a Fabricant on the loose. And they think the singer at the opera is the Fabricant. They go to hunt her down. They find out that the singer is not the Fabricant. In fact, the singer is not actually singing. She's just a face. There is a Fabricant hiding in the wings. And so this singer, she's deaf. She actually can't hear. But she always wanted to be a star. She wanted to be a singer. But when you're deaf, it's difficult to sing the way people want to hear. But this Fabricant can sing very well. What's the Fabricant's issue? The Fabricant is wheelchair bound. They have no body parts. So they build this partnership where she's like, if you let me be a star, I will parrot your song. In exchange, I will give you body parts and rebuild you as a whole. And they do. And they form a bond and they get along. And it's really cool. And again, you're strung along. You feel you were meant to sympathize with this Fabricant until, boom, little boy gets cut. Fabricant gets a whiff of that blood. They go, that partnership meant nothing to me. That Fabricant kills their initial partner, then goes after the little boy. And it's just like,
do you think that the character
damn!
is actually dead?
What's that? Is the partner dead?
Yes.
She got fucking stabbed to the fucking chest with a giant sword!
It's a manga! You know better than that!
She got stabbed through the chest with a giant sword. She's dead.
You know better than that. This is fucking manga and anime, but
this is Fabricant 100, motherfucker. It's an innovative manga.
It's 9.
I'm calling it now. It's innovative. It's a must read. It's not great yet. It's only 10 chapters, and this is a young mangaka, but I said the potential is there.
No, this
and
does
right
seem
now
cool.
it is making good on its potential. Read Fabricant 100. It is the manga that Shonen Jump needs right now, and
It does
it's
seem
getting
cool.
it.
I like the aesthetic a lot. And
Do you want your domestic drama or your domestic comedy? Or you can read Fabricant 100, a true shonen.
Fair enough. Or you can read JoJoLands.
No, I got one more I want to give a
What
shout
the
out
fuck?
to. I want to keep teasing the foreplay for the audience. I know you see the thumbnail. I know you see JoJoLands in the thumbnail. But there's one more to talk about, and that is the Ichinose family's original sins.
How's that doing? I was going to read that. I know I said I would.
So I waited. I wanted to binge read it because I'm like, I see it looks great. We talked about it. It looks great. It's good. But it's like, how is this going to hold people's attention if it's going to be a long, ongoing manga? Well, they just proved it this week, motherfuckers. Chapter 11 or 12. I am not going to say what happens. I implore you.
I don't
to
care.
go back.
Tell me.
Nope, I'm not spoiling for you, I'm not spoiling for the audience, but Ichinose Original Sin gets a really weird twist. You think the twist is everything's fucked up, but there is a game afoot. There is a game afoot. Nothing is what it seems. Obviously. But if you want your long-term mystery, it has now been introduced. And I was floored. I'm just like, oh, okay. This could go for 100 chapters. This, we've got a Groundhog Day. That's all I'm gonna say is we have a Groundhog Day situation afoot, and this game could go on forever. I'm quite fascinated.
Well, they're like.
I gotta give Taizan 5 credit. He has absolutely just the way that Fabricant 100 played through our preconceptions of what a Mon fighter is. Ichinose's Original Sins. We all thought this was gonna be Takapi again, and in a way, it is. It is spiritually Takapi all over again. In the same way that Chainsaw Man Part 2 is spiritually just Part 1 all over again. Where you definitely see how they're kind of repeating themes and structures. But it's the way they do it. You're like, damn, how are they doing? How is Taizan 5 pulling this shit off? I like it. Shonen Jump has 2 fresh new winners. They're gonna make it, everyone. We were so scared for the past year. There is life after Hero Academia. But I just want to give a special shout out to JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen. It's going good. It's going nasty right now.
You're never gonna talk about it.
I'm getting drip-feeded updates from Host, and I like what I'm hearing.
You're never gonna talk
like
about
what
it
I'm hearing
because you enjoy torturing him.
Oh, I love torturing my friends. I love to torture my friends. But yeah, JJK also going good. Jump just got like a fucking like life boost in the beginning of this first quarter this year. Holy fuck. It felt like life support like the last half of last year. And now their stuff is firing on all cylinders. I pray that this ride lasts. It's feeling the magazine is feeling good right now. and I feel like it's because they're really adopting the Jump Plus style. I think that's why this is happening. I think they're taking the right notes. So now let's talk about JoJoLands, JoJo Part 9. Val,
Finally.
I want you to take the lead on this one. You're the JoJo guy.
Okay then. This is the story of a boy becoming rich in the subtropical lands.
The subtropical lands, it's Hawaii. It's Hawaii.
Yeah, I know. It's so fucking weird. So, okay. Series starts out. It's a sunny fucking day in Hawaii when some fucking, as Ivan would call them, fucking pigs come up and knock. Fucking pigs come up and knock on a car door to harass these good citizens who've done absolutely nothing wrong.
These wonderful cherubs, these innocent children.
Spends a little bit of a long time, like, on how this cop is basically a scumbag.
So that's my first thing, Val. So you'd think I would enjoy this part. I'm actually quite exhausted already. I almost dropped the manga here.
Really? What?
I'm like, what is with Araki and sexual harassment being his save the cat moment? What is up with this? I'm getting tired of this.
It's either that or racism, like in part 2.
Yes, it's racism or sexual harassment.
Or
it's
a
always
dog.
something
Or a
exceptionally
dog.
fucking bad. It's always a dog. If it's not a cat, it's a dog.
If it's not a cat, if it's not a human
But
being
it's
sexually harassed,
mostly sexual
or
harassment. It's always predominantly sexual harassment.
something like that.
And he spends a little bit too much time here, and I don't want to see it. because I'm exhausted of it. He did it once. I don't need to see it again.
No, I agree. It does go on. Let's see. How long does this go on for? Like
this goes on way too long.
1, 2, 3, 4,
This is
5,
a prologue.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pages.
10 out of what?
11,
50 pages?
Like 12 pages.
What?
12 out of 61
This is nearly a quarter of your pilot right now.
Of a policeman like sexually assaulting like an 18-year-old.
A child. I mean, yeah, they're 18, so they're on the border. Whatever. I'm tired of it.
But then it turns out, you see, that these characters are not just your regular oddly fashioned Gen Zers, I guess. No, they have fucking stands. And the main character, JoDio Joestar,
he's not John JoJoLands? Come on,
No.
I'm dropping this.
actually has a really fucking cool stand, November Rain. It's like a four-legged like thing that stands above him. It actually looks really cool and is really nice as like a stand design, as I'm sure you know, because
It's
we're
built
so
to evolve.
fucking-
That's going to evolve. That's going to change.
Absolutely, but we are so fucking used to the generic punch ghosts and everything, and punch ghost is cool, but it's just nice.
Yeah,
to get something
I
new.
think he's really gonna pull out the stops here and really give us some very unique stands now, because this one. So that's one thing we need to address. These kids, and as you go on with your premise, are very highly aware of stands. There's no stands.
I believe they're calling
discovery
them
this time.
mechanisms.
No, his mechanisms is his plot line for his life.
Oh, I thought that he was referring to them as
That's
mechanisms.
his characterized dialogue. Mechanisms is his self-plan. This is a very structured young gentleman, JoDio Joestar, who appears to be the grandson of Joseph Joestar. Interestingly. Is the mother the invisible child? The continuity is so fucked. I know this.
It is really like, I don't know what the fuck is actually going on
Because
here,
I completely skipped part 8. I'm not interested in JoJo.
Oh, dude. Here's the thing. JoJoLands starts out super interesting, but it gets so fucking like. I swear
it starts
to
off
you,
interesting.
people
It gets
are
weird.
fucking coping. Like when that fucking series ended and everyone was like, JoJoLands was a fucking fantastic story. No, they were
was a wet fart.
They were lying. JoJoLands.
It was a wet fart. That thing
Actually,
petered out.
it is a shame because it has some of the best fucking stand designs and characters in the series.
It has
in my
a very
opinion.
interesting mystery to start.
It really does, but then like Araki just clearly did not know what the fuck he was doing.
He fucking lost the plot on that one.
He did.
Because like again, and that's another fascinating too. We talk about this echoes in this restructuring. Whereas Steel Ball Run is kind of like a reboot of the
You're not even
original-
that fond of Steel Ball Run, are you?
What do they call the first one? Blood something?
Phantom Blood.
Phantom Blood. So Steel Ball Run is kind of like a reboot of Phantom Blood, and then JoJoLands is kind of like a reboot of Diamond
4.
is Unbreakable. Mm-hmm. This feels like a reboot of Golden Wind, doesn't it? Does it not echo Golden Wind?
No, absolutely does. That is what everyone is saying online because this kid is.
Yes.
But seemingly rather than JoDio just outwardly saying, "Oh, I want to be a gangster. I want to be like a fucking thug with morals and stuff like that," he's just like, "Nah, I just want to fucking like fuck bitches and have fun, basically.
Want to make
Do whatever
money.
the fuck I want."
He's about his life mechanism. He has a plan for himself. I do this every day, and I make this money, and I keep my mouth shut, and I do. He's practically Yoshikage Kira in a little bit. Like he's got a very strict structure to his life, and I can't wait to watch this come undone. It feels like that's what's being set up.
Oh,
Our
absolutely.
only consistent, basically, JoDio will be our bad rock for the series, and the whole plot line will be him trying to maintain this mechanism. And we have been presented our end goal. He's going to get filthy rich at the end. This is the story of how I became the #1 hero. This is the story of how I became filthy rich.
So basically, the premise is that JoDio, his brother, who, yeah, if you think it's his sister at first, I don't blame you, but his brother, Dragona, are part of what seems
I want
to
to talk
be
about that too.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So Dragona Joestar is his older brother. So here's the deal. So JoDio's older brother, who loves women's fashion and has breast implants, and basically dresses like a girl and talks like a girl. Steena has brought this up before, where Japan really, culturally and linguistically, just does not have a word for trans. They just don't. But they do have men dressing as women. They do accept that.
Otokonoko.
Yes, and Araki, and that seems to be Araki's direct. So basically, this is a have your cake and eat it too kind of situation. In the West, we can only perceive this as a trans character, and a very well done one. For Araki, in Japan's perspective, this is a man who dresses and acts as a woman.
Whether it's done well or not, I would save that for when the character is expounded upon.
Yeah, and there's definitely some more expansion required, but as of right now, structurally, Dragona works.
But these two characters,
and I think it's fascinating. It's very fascinating. I'm just like, wow. Like again, that's been the biggest talking point in the Discord.
I think
right now,
Araki is basically like catering this to Gen Z.
Yes, as he. Well, here's it's have your cake and eat it too. Araki is an old man.
Dude,
Araki does not have a word for trans. He just doesn't operate that way, but he accepts it. He knows it's there, and so he's giving it to you.
Here's what I'm saying.
In his way.
In the time that JoJoLands released, a whole new fucking generation is now reading manga because it took so fucking long.
Yeah.
So
but basically, the official English translation is going to be fascinating.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I genuinely think that Araki like sat back and went, I started JoJoLands way too fucking quickly, like right after Steel Ball Run ended. So he's like, taken some time, and now.
Oh, and I want to talk about that too. So last week we talked about tax deductions.
Oh.
Araki took a vacation to Hawaii. Is now writing about it to get a tax deduction on those tickets in that hotel. He's doing it. He's doing it.
I think that's fucking sick if he did
Based.
that. That's the fucking dream. That is the fucking dream.
This man took a Hawaiian vacation, is now writing about it, making money about it. You love to see it.
He's just fucking, he's on another level. He's just working on a different level.
So go on with the premise here.
So Dragona and Jodio are part of a small, I don't want to say a criminal organization, but they're basically criminals.
I know, that's the best way to describe it. It's like they won't say they're criminals, but they are criminals.
They are just criminals.
This is part 5. It's part 5 again.
They literally, it turns out they stole the van that the police pulled them over. That wasn't why the police pulled them over, so the police are still dickheads, but it's like, these are bad people. They like go to a junkyard and like, trade some fucking drugs and stuff, like cocaine inside of surfboards, I think.
You never really see it. He just goes, I'm just a gopher. I just move things for people. I don't look at it. I don't know what's in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Some money.
No, you do get it.
That's what he does.
He doesn't get a look, but he does, because he's literally like, oh yeah, no, I put your drugs in the fucking storm drain to
that's true. He did do that later.
To Hot Dog Man, as the internet was calling him.
I hope he stays Hot Dog Sama forever.
And it turns out that Jodio, Dragona, and this one other guy who I know it talks about him being chubby for a bit.
He was chubby, now he's muscular.
Yeah, chubby now is, I think it's Paco.
We'll learn these guys' names in time. I feel like we will endear ourselves to them. Yeah, Lovelantes, you're right.
Yeah, Paco Lovelantes. They each have their own stands where Jodio has November Rain, which basically seems to rain down hyper heavy droplets of water that like puncture people and stuff. It's not really clear what's going on. It flattens them. Dragona has the stand Smooth Operator, I think.
I think so.
Yes.
I didn't really commit these names to memory.
No, I didn't
I'm not there
either.
yet.
No, same. Smooth Operator, where basically she can like slide things that are on a surface. Like she takes the policeman's eyes and nose and like moves them onto the side of his head.
Yeah, and then she rearranges like credit card numbers and license plates and stuff. And
which
it's like
is really cool.
It's fun. I hope we continue to explore the limits of this. These are definitely very fascinating starting points.
And then Paco Lovelantes has a pretty. I don't think it should be a stand. I think it should just be a weird thing that they can do, like how Giorno could like turn his ear inside out, if you remember. It feels more like that, where his stand is apparently just that he can tense his muscles in crazy ways to literally grip onto things.
Yep.
It seems to be his power. And as it turns out, Hot Dog Man also has a stand, potentially, as all of these people are working for their school principal / boutique owner.
Yep.
And she wants them to steal a 24-karat diamond, I think, from a Japanese
for a
man.
Japanese visitor in a hotel. A wealthy Japanese visitor.
I believe I believe
you
that this heist is going to go
Yeah.
absolutely terribly, and some of these characters are actually going to die right off the bat.
Oh no. So here's the thing. The fact that you said the word heist, I'll be like I said, that first quarter where it's just a police assault, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm tired of this. And even the build up, I'm like, this is okay.
It's because
But
basically
when
Persona 5,
it starts slowly unraveling that this is going to be a heist in Hawaii, some cheesy fucking 80s heist in Hawaii with JoJo stands, oh my god, I am all in, baby. I am excited. I am
thought you were
ready
going to
for
be
this.
disappointed and be like, this is basically Persona 5, and Persona is basically already JoJo.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. No, this is Araki. This is Araki's tax deduct. This is Araki writing about his summer vacation. I'm so ready for this.
Araki is the man who gets the diamonds stolen off of him.
JoJo's like Steel Ball Run was okay for me.
Yeah, I know you didn't like it as I fucking
The
love
season
Steel Ball
part
Run.
6 anime was eh. Part 8, as we just said, went far completely lost.
Here's the sad thing. As I said, so I initially said to some of my friends that I think Part 8 had a stronger beginning, but that's because I compartmentalized at least 3
Because there's
chapters.
a good mystery.
Because I compartmentalized at least 3 chapters of JoJolian down into one chapter because it's been so long since I fucking read it. But this is actually, on like a second read, a pretty well-paced chapter, although it feels like it's very spread out, so I'm not exactly feeling like I'm entirely getting to know these characters, or even Jodio, or anything like that.
How an experienced writer like Araki, how can you get a heist wrong? Like bread and butter, comfort food. This is gonna be great. Part 8 definitely had a more interesting opening chapter because a mystery is also always more fascinating. But look where that fucking went. There's no mystery here. This is fucking teasing.
Yeah,
This is exciting. This is the setup to a fucking heist. I'm ready. Who's gonna be the hotel guest? Could be a cameo. Could be some schmuck that joins their crew later. Who knows?
It's true.
Who
No,
cares?
I'm
I just
looking
want to see
forward
some
to it.
stands do a fucking heist.
I am kind
and
of
wear
looking
Hawaiian
forward.
shirts.
Based on like the opening pages as well, you know, the bit where it's like, you know, the boat on the water, like approaching the island with the volcano going off and everything like that. That looks so fucking cool. I genuinely would really like some adventure in my JoJo after like 10 years of...
I can say you're thirsting for some fucking part 7, part 3.
I want some part 3 shit going on.
You want some globetrotting.
I liked it in part
and I will
4.
agree, globetrotting was kind of a staple of early JoJo. That's
really
been kind of
was.
abandoned.
And like seriously, part 8
4 kind of killed that.
Part 8 was good until about halfway through, I say, where it got like at least 50 chapters in. I think up to 50 chapters into part 8, however many fucking chapters JoJolian had. The point is halfway through. Up to halfway through in JoJolian, that's where I felt like it was really falling apart, and I actually dropped it for the most part, only checking in every so often. I still haven't completely finished JoJolian because I just lost complete interest in it. But honestly, with this break and everything, and the potential for our characters... Actually, you know what? I don't think Dragona will die, because Dragona is on the boat with him at the very beginning. So, we'll see how that goes. But, I'm genuinely looking forward to some actual fucking adventures in my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, rather than being stuck in a fucking town and having all the enemies go to him. I want some fucking adventure, and it's gonna be fucking cool. I'm genuinely hyped.
Yep, I'm ready for this. I think it's the right time.
But I think that's all we got this week.
I think that's all we got this week. Like I said, there isn't much to say. Like I said, that opening JoJoLands is just pure setup. But it's good. It's exciting, tantalizing setup. I'm ready. There isn't much to say, but other than good things, I'm hyped. I'm ready.
Like I said, after a second read through of this chapter, I am more excited than I initially was, because I didn't...
Yep, same. I had to read it twice to really get... My first read through was not good. Second one, I'm like, all right, now I get to digest this. And yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. The only thing that I've got questioning now is... what the fuck is this guy's relation? Like, is he supposed to be like an alternate version of Giorno, who obviously wouldn't exist because Diego Brando permanently died? Is this like... I'd be interested if this is the old universe somehow. I don't know. I always say that.
Yeah, again, that's why I'm like, is the mom the invisible child?
Oh,
That's what I'm wondering.
you did say-
Is that our tie to the old universe? Because it's the daughter of Joseph Joestar. What daughter? What daughter, motherfucker? We know he has illegitimate children, but is this the fucking baby?
Yeah. It's a good fucking question. I mean, it could be. I mean, it depends what year. Because JoJoLion is set in 2011, I believe. Weird to think as well, because Part 6 is also set in 2011. But it could be like a massive time skip because we don't know how far in the we don't know what fucking year it is right now, actually, at all. Like,
we'll find out eventually.
And
he's never
years and stuff. Like, you know, the time period in JoJo is always super important to things.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
So many fucking questions, but I think the train's gotta fucking get to the station.
Questions for another time. But yes, we need to run, you guys. I mean, hell, how's that for a manga episode? It's been a while. It felt good, didn't it?
I mean, I guess we've got another monthly manga on top of Demons of the Underworld, and now we've got JoJoLands.
Demons of the Shadow Realm.
Demons of the Shadow Realm, that's it.
Guy. Yeah, so JoJo's monthly, you think?
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's absolutely monthly. It's been monthly since.
This will be the first JoJo where I will actively read it.
Oh, really? Okay,
monthly,
that's pretty cool.
It's exciting.
Like I said, I don't blame you for.
I'd like to enjoy JoJo again. I really do. So
I still don't blame you if you want to skip JoJoLion. I would say read it at some point, but for the most part, it was.
I think I'll read a wiki article about it. I think that's the most I can give it.
I can forgive that.
But yeah, so until then, guys, everyone, take care.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of Joycast is hosted by Ivan LeRoy and Valentine Stokes. LeRoy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, PARAMEDIC. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as RWBY, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Steena Carey, with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lofi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Steena Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan LeRoy. Rebuild of Joycast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest-tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Gooner Bear, MerryBowTie, Hope D. Cruz, and Greg Hughes. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.